Our first stop is in Midrand at the home of Naufal Khan, who's been able to trace back his heritage through his grandmother's journal. I'm sitting here with Naufal Khan, who dressed me today. This is his great-great-grandmother's sari. Thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
Thank you for having me on Talk Essay.
You're saying that this dates back 200 years ago?
Yes. This and other artifacts that you've seen today, and the other saris which have been handed down from generation to generation in our family.
You trace back your history through your grandmother's journal. What prompted you to do that?
I think it was the desire to understand and look for my heritage. Where did I come from? Where did she come from? And through her journals, experiencing the pain, the sorrow, the happiness, all of it. It was what made me today. All her teachings and making me understand where I came from was very important for who I am today.
And did you find through the journal, did you get to understand how your family ended up in South Africa?
Yes, I did. Very, very interesting facts that have arisen from my research. And with the assistance of the National Archives of South Africa and Department of Arts and Culture, I was able to trace back a lot of history, which is quite interesting. And the history research is going to go on. A lot of information that was handed down due to the fact that she was also a slave nursemaid to one of the governmental Anglo occupants here in South Africa, and the items that they left behind with her was very interesting. Interestingly enough was the postcard by DJ Langer Esquire to Mr. King here in South Africa, where he requested 4 million more Indians in South Africa for farming needs to sustain this country and the British Raj.
Now, Naufal, you're a young guy that should be worried about music and books and CDs and parties. This is something that only old people care about. How did you start with this, and why did you start with this?
The reason for me to start this was that there is no record. What was just told by mouth to mouth from generation to generation just stopped when my grandmother died, and there has been no continuation. And one of the reasons was my niece Nazira, and she was one of the unfortunate one to not see my grandmother before she died. My grandmother wanted to see her, and she died a month before she was born. And this is a legacy that I want to have instilled in her. I wanted to understand where her roots came from, not to forget them, and have this carried across into our generations of families that are forthcoming.
Surely through the journal you could trace back names of villages, names of people, surnames back in India. Do you have to travel to India?
Yes, in fact, my family has traveled to India. We have made contact with our family. Interesting factor was that upon my trip to Varanasi, I met with family there. And it was a very, very moving account to see my family, people that I've never known, treat me with such utmost respect and humbleness. And it was the very same kind of personality I found in my grandmother, and how she raised us up as her grandchildren.
After the break, we go to Newtown, a hub of cultural diversity, to speak to members of a dance group who are putting together a play about the arrival of Indians in South Africa.